So this is heartbreaking, depressing, and honestly a little bit of wholesome, but mainly it's heartbreaking and depressing, and it's not relatively good news. But I want to put a spotlight on this because I feel like this is very important to talk about, because there's various things I could talk about today, and there's maybe another video I have planned to upload today, but I want to talk about this first, because I felt that this one in particular really hit hard, especially since I talk about this subject matter quite often on the channel. So to give a too long did not read or too long did not listen, this is a mangaka, an author of a manga series of Horizon, as you can see here, and I'm just going to straight up read their post. I was forced to delete the content regarding that matter. I sincerely apologize to everyone who supported me. I draw manga for a Japanese publisher. My work belongs to me, yet I cannot freely handle my own creations, and sometimes even this account. The number of overseas manga fans may not grow any further. Still, I'm glad I got to meet all of you. I always pour my all into the manga right in front of me. Other issues are insignificant to me. Well then, I'm off to draw a masterpiece. And they followed up with this. This may be the limit of promotion I can do, giving basically links to the Japanese sites to be able to pick up the manga, and since, you know, there is no official legal way to actually obtain it overseas. So let's kind of break this down in exactly what this means. And I feel like my post here really kind of talks about this and just simplifies it in a good summary. So a mangaka scanlated his own work, aka he posted his own manga online, like on the internet for free for people to be able to read overseas. For instance, he did this because he wanted his series to get recognition, people to be aware of it, and to potentially grow the community to where one day maybe it will get picked up by a licensed distributor, maybe it might get an anime one day, you know, just popularity. Because it's very obvious that we're in an age right now to where, like, manga offers can really blow up if there is a lot of publicity around it on social media. And it's very clear that's what this offer in particular wanted to do. They wanted to put a spotlight on their series, and they offered it willingly and for free on the internet for people overseas to be able to actually read it. Now, for complete transparency, I have not read this series yet that the offer posted, and according to what is stated here, they removed it completely because of the Japanese publisher behind the scenes. More into that in a moment, but the point of the matter is that this offer knew that there was no legal way to actually read his manga overseas, and so he decided to go out of his way and release it overseas for people to read. And I'm assuming they did their own translation into English. I could be wrong there, but that is my assumption. So it's really showcasing the steps that the author is trying to take to build a bridge and build an audience, to build a community that follows their manga. It's incredibly wholesome, honestly. It's not something you see every day, and it's also a little bit scary as well, especially since we're in the age to where when a creator or artist tries to open themselves up to someone, that can usually blow back in their face. And in this case, it blew up in their face because of the Japanese publisher behind the scenes, but oftentimes if you try to open up to a community, the community might eat you alive. I mean, there's a lot of examples of this happening just as of late. Like, let's think of like the situation with the Amazing Digital Circus. If you know about that situation, you know what's going on. It's kind of crazy. And for the offer to give over his manga series for free to the people overseas to be able to read on, like, let's say just sites and all that, like pirate sites or whatever, is a pretty crazy thing to do. And it's understandable why Japanese publishers would be very upset with this, because of just how they really take copyright and piracy extremely seriously. And I feel like this situation here could potentially damage the future reputation of this offer, and I am worried about that because of what they did, but I feel like the intentions of the offer was incredibly noble, because if it's not legally licensed anywhere around the world, there is no way to actually explore and engage with the series, and piracy is something that does offer that. There is a lot of manga to this day that are not legally licensed anywhere around the world besides in Japan, and you can only read them either in the original Japanese if you go to Japan and pick up a physical copy, or you read it on a pirate site with some form of fan translation. And that, a lot of these manga, you know, honestly wouldn't be as popular as they are today if it wasn't potentially for these pirate sites and fan translation groups. Just gonna keep it 100% real. So the offer is obviously aware of this, and I think that's incredibly important to take away. But we need to talk about the other side of the story, and that is the Japanese publisher using their power to stop this from happening. So first off, I think we all know, Japan takes copyright extremely serious. Like, it is by far one of the most things they take seriously. Like, they will throw you away in jail or prison for the rest of your life over manga scans. Like, if you take a manga, for instance, and put it on a pirate site, they take this stuff very serious. It's a big thing. And I think when you think about that situation, it's understandable why a Japanese publisher would react like this. It's completely understandable, because even if the series doesn't necessarily blow up, they are protective of their work. They don't care about, like, let's say, not just something becoming lost media, for example, but they don't care if the series isn't licensed overseas anywhere. They think that, you can never obtain it. If you're not in Japan, if you, actually cannot legally get a copy ever, regardless of wherever you're at, then you're out of luck. Sorry, you're out of luck. And I think everybody knows my personal opinion on piracy. Like, if there is no way to legally obtain something, then obviously going towards the route of piracy makes perfect sense. It's a service issue at that point. And I feel like, Japan having this reaction to the offer is understandable. Like, it's a case in point. We've seen it time and time again. My main concern here, though, is what the offer says about how he cannot even control his own account. That is a big detail that I feel like a lot of people are overlooking that makes this situation pretty heartbreaking. It implies that this author can't even, say what he wants to say online. Like, even disregarding, for instance, talking about his manga. I'm assuming this is his private account. I don't know. It's not named after the manga, so I'm assuming this is actually the author's real account, personal account. But it's apparent that the author is not able to say what they want to say on social media. And yes, I know we're in an age where if you say certain things online, you can get in trouble, maybe get fired from your job or whatever. Hell, I lost a sponsorship, earlier this week because of people making fake screenshots of me. I literally lost a sponsorship with Webtoon. So, yeah, straight up, I mean, I understand having to worry about social media, but it is very sad that he's having to censor himself because of Japanese publishers won't let him talk about certain things. That's depressing. That really is. Being chained down and not being able to speak your mind is, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling, and I don't think anyone deserves to have that type of feeling. Another big detail is that I feel like this might damage his reputation with Japanese publishers, because after this whole debacle, they might not want to work with him anymore. Like, if this series doesn't sell well, and it fails, for instance, I can see this offer not being able to work in the industry in a very positive way after distributing the manga online. So I hope that doesn't come back to bite the man, but it's possible. I will leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this news because I felt like it was incredibly important to discuss this, especially with the weight of it and how I talk about the subject matter a lot. But if you enjoyed my video, please subscribe, please leave a like. It does help me out a lot. Chibi out.